Welcome to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I've spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey, welcome back to Brewing Success. My name is Andrea Gebhardt. I am your host, and I am so excited to talk to you today about the 4 ways that high performers show up differently, with the gentle nudge and encouragement that, guess what? You can too. Because performance is not about perfection. It's about positioning yourself to succeed consistently. And if you have ever looked at anyone and thought to yourself, how do they manage to crush it, show up with energy, stay focused, and somehow still eat salad by choice? Here's the truth. High performers aren't magical unicorns born with more hours in the day or fewer distractions. They've just built different patterns, different habits, different standards. And today I'm going to pull back the curtain on what they actually do differently and how you can start showing up like the next level version of yourself without burning out or selling your soul to the hustle gods. So let's get into it. I'm going to share the 4 ways that high performers show up differently. So number 1, high performers value consistency over intensity. The normal, everyday, average person on the road to success, they want fireworks. They want the big, flashy, incredible display of lights, whereas a high performer is completely content lighting a candle every single day. You see, the difference here is that high performers don't wait for inspiration. They create routines that make results inevitable. They know that with a 7 out of 10 effort, daily beats a 10 out of 10 sprint followed by burnout. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't wait until you feel passionate or inspired by dental hygiene. You just do it because it's the habit that sustains the health. For example, here's something you can do to help yourself become a little bit more consistent, right? You can create a daily rhythm of non-negotiables with minimum standards, like exercise for 30 minutes, gratitude practice 5 minutes, 60 minutes of focused work, 10 minutes of learning, 5 intentional conversations. You must make time for the needle movers in your life, the actions that over time are going to compound into desired results. So consistency over intensity. It's not how much you can do and how fast you can do it. It's how much can you do every single day and sustain that same level of effort and energy over time. Number 2, high performers protect their energy like it's their most valuable currency. They say no, even to the good things, so that they can say yes to the right things. They don't attend every fire, they delegate or they douse wisely. High performers spend 60 to 70% of their time in proactive work, planning, creating, leading, not reacting, not responding. Imagine running your phone on 3% battery all day with 15 apps open. See, that's how most people operate mentally. High performers, they charge before they get drained. So here, what you want to do is you want to take a look at your calendar. You want to audit your calendar, audit your schedule like a financial planner. What activities are giving you the highest ROI? And what drains you but doesn't move the needle? Delegate it or douse it. Put it off into somebody else's hands or eliminate it, because a lot of times we find ourselves being busy but not actually being productive, getting things done but not spending the time doing the things that are moving the needle or helping generate progress toward the goal that we're making. And that's where I see so much wasted time. That's where I see so many people investing time in the wrong places. And we talk about this number two, that high performers protect their energy. That means protecting your time. That means protecting your output. That means protecting where your energy actually goes. And it should always be directed into the things that only you can really do, the things where you are the most gifted, the areas where you are the most passionate, the areas where you're not just making progress, but you're also being fulfilled at the same time. I think the kids call it these days like your flow state, which is actually kind of awesome. I love this idea, and I love that they talk about flow states. But working in that flow state where you're optimizing your talents with the time that you have to work toward the goal that you're trying to achieve. Number 3, high performers are obsessed with learning, but even more obsessed with applying. They don't binge podcasts and then do nothing. They don't read the books and highlight it and then close it up and put it back up on the shelf. They take messy action. They highlight, they journal, they try, they fail, they adjust. Learning isn't a flex, it's a foundation. And I've met so many leaders who could literally teach a masterclass on mindset, but they still struggle with mindset. They're still second-guessing themselves into silence, second-guessing themselves into a puddle of doubt and lack of belief. Knowledge doesn't change your life. Execution on that knowledge does. So just because you're listening, just because you're reading, just because you're studying doesn't mean that you're prioritizing learning. We want to learn and apply, learn and apply. We want to make those micro adjustments in how we show up, how we behave, and how we take action every single day. That is the difference between your normal average person and a high performer. They're obsessed with learning, but even more obsessed with applying. Now, my challenge to you is to learn one thing today and apply it by tomorrow. No overthinking, just action. Every time you learn new information, that is an opportunity for you to take that information, integrate it to improve yourself in whatever it is that you're working on. If you learn that for women over the age of 40, that a 40 to 50 gram protein meal in the morning is one of the most incredible things that you can do to help balance your hormones. You don't just think about it and think about how you should do it. You actually start to implement it into your day. If you learn that going for a 5 to 10 minute walk after dinner helps balance and regulate insulin levels and your overall health and energy and contributes to a healthier, metabolic health, you don't just think about starting that next month or maybe having a conversation with it about your friends. No, you start it tonight after dinner. When you learn something, the beautiful thing about the world that we live in is we are exposed to so much information every single day. And yes, it can be overwhelming. Yes, it can be contradicting. Yes, it can be all over the place. But when you unlock something that has the ability to shift something within you, understand that it's going to start to shift things outside of you. The projects that you're working on, the people that you're coaching, the team that you're leading, the business that you're building. When we know better, we do better. When we learn something, we apply it and we show proof of that learning. And again, it's those little micro changes that create those big outcomes that we're looking for. Number 4, high performers take radical ownership. High performers don't outsource responsibility. If they're not getting results, they don't blame the team, the algorithm, or Mercury in retrograde. They look inward first. There's a quote that I love that I don't even know who said it actually, but I think it's really profound. But it says that excuses are the language of the average. I feel like somebody needs to be like, burn, right? Like excuses are the language of the average. It makes me never want to make an excuse ever again. And I'll say this while we have that resting with you for a second. Never forget that your common excuses are often the very concrete reason why you need to take action. So I want you to think about the last few excuses you've thrown out there. I'm too tired. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. That's exactly why you need to go do those things. So you can have more time, so you can have more energy, so you can prioritize rest, so that you can have, I think I said more money already, but I'm going to say again, more money. That's the beauty of it. So the next time that something goes wrong, ask yourself, what was in my control in this situation? What can I control? What can I learn from this? How can I respond differently next time? What changes or adjustments do I need to make now to avoid this same thing in the future? High performers take radical ownership. They realize that the direction of the ship is a result of their steering. The culture of the team is a direct result of their shaping. And that's why I always tell them, like, you're the therm. I was just on a Zoom recently where I talked about how important it is for leaders to be mindful of their emotions, their reactions, their expressions, the things that they say, because they're the thermostat. And just like when a baby is learning how to walk and it falls down the first time or trips and falls the first time, it literally hits the ground, looks up to you for your reaction to see how they should respond to the moment. And the moms that gasp and cover their faces and go rushing toward the baby bursts into tears. And the mom that stands there and looks at the baby with a smile and claps her hands and is like, yay! The baby's like, I don't know why she's excited, but I'm going to get up and try that again. It's you, like, as the leader. I think that once people understand that their teams are always going to be indicative of who they are, how they lead, what they do, what they don't do, the things they say, it not only does it hold you to a higher standard, but it helps you understand the responsibility of leadership. And if we want the responsibility of leadership, if we want to build something massive, if we want to lead massive people, if we want to create something really incredible in our lifetimes and be leaders, we have to understand the responsibility. Well, part of the responsibility of leadership is the ownership. When things don't go well, when things don't go right, when the launch fails, when the target isn't hit, when there's gaps in production or blind spots or weak spots in our systems, we have to take radical ownership of that. High performance leaders show up differently. They think differently. And if you are working to become a high performance leader, these are some of the ways in which you can turn up the heat a little bit to start to function in that way. So here's some solid reflection questions for you so you can see where you are in your journey to becoming a high performer. Number one, where am I chasing intensity when instead I should be building consistency? Where am I chasing intensity instead of building consistency? Number two, what energy leaks do I need to put a plug in this month? Who calls you that drains your energy? In the middle of the day, disrupts your day, and you walk away from that phone call like lifeless. Stop answering. That's an energy leak. There's so many other examples we can get into, but that might be a whole other episode. Number three, am I learning for the sake of knowing new things, or am I learning for the sake of changing who I am and what I do to actually grow? And number four, where do I need to take more ownership and place less blame? I want to leave you with this. High performers don't do more. They do what matters on purpose, with consistency and without apology. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to decide, am I going to keep performing at the level I'm at, or am I going to level up like the leader I know that I can be? And that, my friends, is up to you. And of course, I hope you lean into the decision that is going to take you to the next level. Thanks again for joining me here on Brewing Success, where growth is a mission, change is a reward, and progress is the goal.